Hi, Jenny. How you doing?
Good. Good to see you. All right. Welcome, everybody, to a project we have all been waiting since 2016 to complete. Big Blue is completed, and families has a safe way home now. So we'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you for the great turnout. This is awesome. At this time, we are going to have a presentation from the Honor Guard. It's from the West Virginia Challenge Academy South. I know that's one of the governor's programs. We're happy to have them here. And after they present the flags, we will have the national anthem by Greg Boggs with Heart Cry.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you. That song's very special, especially in the times we're living right now. Keep Ukraine and all the families there in your prayers. Everybody knows what happened to our state back in June 23rd, 2016. We were devastated. I don't think I'm over that flood yet. We're still recovering. That's why we call it long-term recovery. I remember in July 2016, I got a call from Chuck Greershaver. He was the floodplain manager here in Kanawha County. And he said, we've got a bridge up in Clendenin, serves 14 families, and I don't think they're going to be able to use it. They can't get home. So I said, let's see what we can do. And at that time, I started bringing our team together. We'd already put a bridge program together in 2015. We'd already completed numerous bridges for families. So on August the 9th, 2016, we had our first meeting here at Big Blue. We had representatives of Mennonite Disaster Service, who's been very vital to this program. Jimmy Ridston, who was with the Department of Highways at that time and is now the commissioner. We had Chuck there. We had other folks there that was very important. I think somebody maybe from the Corps of Engineers, Ben Cisco from our office. And the word I got back was Johan Zimmerman, also our engineer, showed up that day and looked at it. And the word I got back was this bridge can't be fixed. It's got to be replaced. So I'm thinking in my mind, oh gosh, what are we going to do? You know, we're used to building smaller bridges that's $20,000 and $30,000, and we can come up with that. We donated dollars and volunteers, but look at this. What are we going to do? Well, we didn't close the door. That's what we didn't do. We kept it in front of us. In September, October, November, somewhere in there, we realized we were going to be getting CDBG funding, DR funding from HUD to our state. And it was going to be a good amount of money. And we started meeting in December. I had my first meeting with some folks at Commerce to discuss having the bridge program in that program. And then shortly after Governor Justice was elected and he came on board, he jumped right on board with wanting to make sure our bridge program got into the CDBG DR funding program so that we could use funding to take care of families with bridges like this. And I will have to say, without the RISE program, it would have been very, very difficult for us to be able to fulfill this dream that we sit here today with. It meant a lot to have those federal dollars to be able to do this. And with that, I'd like to introduce to you Secretary Ed Gaunch as the representative of Commerce to come up and say a few words. But I really felt like it was very important for you all to realize how important this program is, the RISE program was, for us to get this completed. So with that, I'd like for you to give an applause for Secretary Ed Gaunch.
Thank you, Jenny. Yeah, I remember that day too. Commissioner Harper, for sure. My first trip here, I remember it vividly. After the flood, I had a sling on this arm. I just had my right shoulder replaced. Commissioner Carper was in the thick of everything. Mayor Summers, I hope Clendenin knows how fortunate they are to have you advocating for them. She's tireless, so thank you. Particularly thank you to VOAD, to the CAD unit, which Mike Graney is in charge of, Jennifer, Michelle, those people, the volunteers, the public-private partnership that came about to do this. I think today we're celebrating a landmark. I mean, this is going on 6 years. Unfortunately, it takes us a lot longer to build back what Mother Nature destroys. And that's been the case here. But this is something special, very special. And I just, for me, every time I drive by it now, it's going to be a reminder and something to celebrate. And there's always something to celebrate, folks. Yeah, it's been really tough, really hard. And we've done 400 some odd houses, can't tell you how many bridges. We've demolished a bunch of structures that needed demolishing. But this is kind of going to be the hood ornament for all of the DR program, I think. So thank you. The governor gave me responsibility last April of 21, the executive responsibility to see that this RISE program gets done properly and finished. And I'm happy to report to you, we can see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's almost done, and it's not another train coming towards us this time. It's sunshine. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for just putting up with this whole process as we let it unfold before us. Now, I get the great honor and privilege, as I often do, to introduce my boss. And I will tell you without any hesitation, he's great to work for. He's a big idea person, but he expects results. And when we started the RISE program, we tripped out of the gate a little bit, and he was quick, I gotta tell you, to fix things. And he cares about people. He cares that these 14 families have access to the property. So without any hesitation, my friend, my boss, Governor Jim Justice.
Is this on? Okay. First of all, Ed, Jenny, our mayors, our commissioners, all these wonderful people from, economic development, and all you that have really been through one whale of a tough time. I'm sorry it's taken so long. That's just all there is to it. I'm probably the most impatient human being that you've ever been around. And really, at the end of the day, when something happens that's really bad, a lot of times it takes forever to get anybody to make up their mind on anything. And no matter how hard you push, no matter how much you do, it's still not fast enough. There's no way. I wish to goodness that we could have been here and had this done 10 minutes after this terrible flood happened. And I mean that. I genuinely care in every way. Now, I got to just say this, and there's no point in having a bunch of crazy notes. I go back to that time of that flood, and it's absolutely the worst thing that I have ever experienced as far as any weather event or whatever like that. Like it or not like it, or believe it or not, I waded mud forever. And we actually, at the Greenbrier Hotel, looked for bodies and found body after body. Found 3 different bodies on the golf course. We looked for a little girl who was 14 years old, Michaela Phillips, for 6 weeks. And we finally found her miles and miles and miles downstream. The worst of the worst. But Jenny knows, and Jenny hadn't changed a bit. Now, I've gotten chunkier and more white hair, and some of it even fallen out. But really and truly, from that day, I got to know Jenny really well, General Hoyer really well, and a lot of others. West Virginians just pulled the rope. That's all we could do. Now, really, at the end of the day, like it or not like it, at times in D.C., things get really, really slow. And with all of that, we keep slugging, don't we? And so today, here we are. We got a new bridge, sun shining, all's good here. I would challenge you just this. Today, our nation is really under attack in a lot of different ways. And we got so many things wrong, but so many things that are wonderful that are off the chart. Think about what's going on right this minute in Ukraine, and it's terrible. It's just plain terrible. And we're almost sitting on our hands and we don't know what to do. in all honesty, I really know what to do. And you know what to do too. This day and time, what we should do, in my opinion, is do what West Virginians have done. They've stood up. They've stood up regardless of the risk or whatever it may be, and they've done the right thing. The right thing. I don't know how in the world we can just stand and watch, but with all in me, I pray in every way that this will some way, somehow pass. For all those that are impacted in every way there, my prayers, Kathy, all of our prayers should be those folks. Today in West Virginia, the flood's gone. It's way too long that the bridge took to get here. But the sun's shining today some way. Our world and our nation is really, really under attack right now. And so I ask you for all your prayers, because those people need it really bad. We need it too. Jenny, I can never, ever thank you enough for all the hard work, no matter how good you could have possibly done, or General Hoyer or Ed Gaunch or any of us, whether it be our commissioners, our mayors, whomever it may be, no matter how good that you could possibly do, it wasn't fast enough. Because really and truly, when you're hurting, it isn't fast enough. We get every bit of that. But I really, really know your hearts. And I know just how good you've really been. I'm telling you, West Virginia is finally really on the move. And so for all of you that were impacted by this bridge being out and being dangerous as it could be and everything else, I wish you the very, very best. And I wish to goodness that it would have been so much earlier than it is today. But with all that, I would say to you, West Virginians, I couldn't be more proud of you. And I mean that from the very bottom of my heart. So thank you so much. That's all I got. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Governor. We really appreciate you being here today to celebrate with us. In 2015, we had a lot of flooding in Mingo, Lincoln, Wayne, Logan, Boone, and I think there was over 300 bridges that was washed out. And I remember sitting in one of our VOAD meetings, and we were talking about how we're rebuilding homes to get people back in it. And Jim Ditzler with the United Church of Christ, who is one of our VOAD members, said, "What's the difference in not having a home to go to and having a home to go to but no access to that home?" Because at that time we had kids who couldn't get to school, ambulance could not get to folks. We had people going into a diabetic coma because an ambulance had to go 2 miles around the mountain to get to them. And that's when we decided we needed to do something. So we started working to put a bridge program together to where we could use volunteers to build bridges. We worked with the state, and we had a meeting in August the 12th, 2015. We had our first meeting. And out of that meeting, we had a lot of folks there. We had the Corps of Engineers there. We had people from the state there. But one person in particular was there that really worked with their engineer and got this program moving. And that was Jimmy Ridston, who has now become a cabinet secretary. And I know why he has, because that man really has a lot of knowledge and he cares about people. And he cared about this program. And he still sits on our bridge program committee today. We invited Jimmy to be here today, but he couldn't be here. So Jacob Bumgarner is going to be here to speak on behalf of Jimmy Ridston. Jacob, if you could come now.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, Governor, for being here today. I'm sure not going to be as colorful as Jimmy Ridston is, as most of you all can attest. But I am honored to be here on his behalf. He really wanted to be here, but his schedule just would not allow it. West Virginia VOAD and their mission, especially their bridge program, is near and dear to Jimmy's heart. I just recently became involved in it, and it's been my pleasure to learn and understand their mission and what they're doing around the state. Their bridge program fills a void of building bridges that are off the Division of Highways system and at a very efficient cost too. I don't know how many times I've heard the Secretary refer to the beginnings of the VOAD bridge program and the partnerships that were forged, rebuilding bridges in Fayette County and other parts of the state. That partnership, which mainly consists of utilizing Division of Highways technical knowledge and expertise in bridge design and analysis, has continued over the years, including this particular project. Jimmy himself came out here and was walking around in the early days of this project. To continue that help with West Virginia VOAD and to continue to help with this particular project, we provided guidance on specifications, cost estimates, design review, environmental clearance assistance, and even provided information to pick the paint system that will keep this bridge blue for years to come. The Division of Highways looks forward to continuing our work with VOAD, and I want to congratulate them on a job well done on this project. Thank you.
Let me just say one thing. Just because Jimmy risked, he had an incredible impact on this, did he not?
Yes, he
He
did.
absolutely did an incredible thing. So just so that y'all will get the flavor for Jimmy, I'm gonna get myself so that you'll know that, I'll be Jimmy for right now.
I love it. Looks just like it. I'll tell you a story about Jimmy. We were at our state VOAD meeting in Gassaway in September 2016. And that's when Jimmy had been asked to come and work with the state VOAD on this. And in sitting in our meeting, we had representatives from JZ Engineering was there, our engineer, Mennonite Disaster Service was there, and other folks from our state VOAD was going to meet with Jimmy afterwards and go out and look at some bridges. So halfway through the meeting, a guy comes in and he sits at the far end of the table. Well, I looked at Jimmy and I told one of the people that works with us, I said, could you go and check on that guy? I think it might be one of the families who was affected by the flood. Because Jimmy came in his bibbed overalls and his boots, and he was ready to go to work. And it was Jimmy Riston, and he said, no, I'm here to work. I'm here to work with you guys. So that was, Jimmy was down to earth, but when you needed the job done, Jimmy gets it done. And we really appreciate all that Jimmy and DOH has done. How little did I know how much we needed DOH involved in the bridges, because we have actually been working with our engineer, moved the bridge a little bit upstream or downstream to get them out of a blind spot on the roads, maybe to make the bridge a little safer to where the water wasn't hitting into the abutment. So it's very important. And the governor was mentioning how we would like to have had this done 2 hours after the flood hit. Trust me, if I'd have had the money, I'd been out here building the bridge in August of 2016. But then I have to be reined back in and told, you got hydraulic studies. You got fish and wildlife that you got to deal with. We all know what that's like, right, Michelle? We have a lot of permitting we have to do. We have bat surveys you have to do. Oh, you can't build the bridge this month because you got something living in the stream that you have to give it time to do their thing. So it's one thing after another, and it does get frustrating because to me, I want to get it done and get people back. But in all of that, we are we are where we are today. As I said a little bit earlier, Chuck Griershaver was with the state or with the county floodplain management at the time the flood hit, and he really advocated for the families that lived across this bridge, and he was one of the first people, along with Mr. Carpenter of the county commission, contacted us too. But we have asked Chuck to come today and say a couple words. Chuck, at this time, if you could come and
Thanks everybody for being here. I don't know if most of you realize it, but water was above your heads right here the day of the flood. There was houses on this bank that was washed away or lost. I worked this flood every day for over 4 years under the direction of Mr. Carper. It was a tremendous undertaking to get this bridge done. Jimmy Ganaway deserves kudos for that. I invite anybody to walk down there and look at the old bridge and see it if you've got the courage to drive across it or take your kids across it. I'd have made my kids swim across the creek before I took them across that bridge. I just appreciate everything. It turned out nice. People have ambulance service and fire service now that they didn't have before. If there was high water, low water, they could cross the creek downstream. During high water, you just out of luck. You've got an ambulance sitting over there now. He couldn't have made it over here then. And I think this is a great thing. Thank you.
and I know I keep going back to 2015, but that's how this all became about. I remember coming to Duval Fire Department where Mennonite Disaster Service was there helping muck and clean out houses after some of the flooding. We had 3 big floods, March, and 2 weeks later we had another one, and 2 weeks later we had another one, and I think in June or July we had another one. They just kept hitting us that year. So Mennonite Disaster Service was there in Duval, staying at the fire department, doing muck out. And the FEMA vow, which was Michelle Breedlin at that time, we had been working together to come up with a game plan for putting this project together. And Kevin King, the ex-executive director for Mennonite Disaster Service, was going to be in town that day. So we went over to sit down and talk to Kevin about what our idea was. And Kevin's a lot like you, Governor Justice. He likes good ideals that goes places. So when we presented to him what it was, and he said, "What do you need?" And we said, "We need an engineer that can come in and help write our plans, write our guidelines for us, and lay out for us how the bridge would be built, engineer the bridges, and figure out all the permitting process," because we didn't know it. And at that time, a lot of people on the state level didn't know what all the permits was going to need it to be. So he had an idea, and he said, "We've got an engineer that used to build bridges down in South America. We'll get him over here." This was in July of 16, and he was at that meeting in August of 15. I'm sorry. So at this time, I'd like for our engineer, who really helped us with getting our guidelines written, coming up with a type of bridge that volunteers can build. Johan, along with Jimmy Riston's help, came up with this design, and at this time, I'd like to introduce you to Johan Zimmerman. He is with JZ Engineer.
Hello. Today is International Women's Day, and I think we need to celebrate the woman, Jenny Ganaway of West Virginia VOAD, that had the vision, courage, and leadership for rebuilding bridges so that families could safely access their homes. A big shout out also to all the women that live on this side of the river that every day for the last who knows how many years took their kids across that old bridge to school, that went across that bridge to go to work and brought home the groceries at night. Let's acknowledge the ingenuity of the West Virginia people. The original bridge was not designed by engineers, nor was it built by a big construction company. It was built by the local community recycling cables from the coal mines, and steel pipes from gas well casings. And they welded together this spiderwork of a structure that has withstood 50 years of service. Eventually, steel corrodes and turns into dust, just like all of us are going to turn into dust, and a new bridge became necessary. This bridge before us was not designed as an architectural monument, nor as a pinnacle of engineering success and innovation. Its beauty is that it was designed and constructed to serve this community with an extremely limited budget. And I also want to thank Jimmy Liston, Secretary of West Virginia Department of Highways, for taking the time to install in me the courage to take on this project. This project with its limited budget was only possible with amazing cooperation of a community of people, engineers, surveyors, building officials, permit agencies, fabricators, and workers. The heroes in this, for me, were the West Virginia VOAD construction team, a group of carpenters and laborers who had never before attempted a project like this. And I like the cameras to turn around once to show the people that really built the bridge. They're all standing in the back row back here. And thank you especially Tip Schoen for managing the construction to a safe and successful conclusion. It was really a miracle that you performed here. So may this bridge serve the community for many years to come. Thank you.
We all know how important it is to have our county commission joining us when there's time of need and supporting us in things that we need. And the county commission here in Kanawha County has supported this project from the beginning, and we really appreciate all that you've done to help support this. And at this time, I'd like to ask Lance Wheeler with the county commission to come up and say a couple words.
Thank you. My name is Lance Wheeler, Kanawha County Commissioner. I'm here with Commission President Kent Carper, and Commissioner Ben Salango was unable to attend, but he wanted me to share remarks of how excited he is of this grand opening of Big Blue. As we look at Big Blue, there's going to be individuals that's going to see this bridge on the media and they're going to say, why did so many people come out for a bridge? And I'm going to tell you why. Because this, to me, is not just a bridge. This is an idea, a symbol. An idea that at the end of the day, a family's not going to have to worry how they're going to get home. An idea that our Kanawha County Ambulance Authority doesn't have to reroute an ambulance truck miles just to get to an emergency when time is of the essence. This is a pivotal moment in the recovery that we've seen in this area. And we will never forget the floods of 2016, the loss, the devastation. And when I see this bridge behind me, I see a vision. I see us as West Virginians, Kanawha Countyans, people of Clendenin. We are moving forward in the right direction. And let me say this very quickly. We did not replace this bridge. We rebuilt. We made it bigger, we made it better, and that bridge will stand here for years to come, ensuring the safety of the families on the other side of that bridge. I'm proud as a county commissioner to work with every single one of you all, because we have to work together. Whether it's from our federal representatives, Governor, thank you for coming and all the help that you've done. The county commission, Mayor, the city of Clendenin, and last but not least, and hear me because this is a pivotal part, the community and its volunteers. Because without the community coming together and working together, this bridge would not have been able to be built. We are elected officials, and alone, we can't do anything. And we are grateful for the trust of the citizens of Kanawha County in this area to work with us and to collaborate. Because without you all, this would not be accomplished. So give a round of applause for the community in this area. want to thank every single one of you all for coming out here today. And I promise that this is not the last bridge to be built. This is not the last project to be done. We will continue to do everything we can to rebuild this area and to bring prosperity back. And with that, I am proud and honored to recognize our next speaker. An individual, when I was first elected, I was told by our staff, be careful, she's going to come after you. And I told them, I said, I'm glad she does, because she represents the people that voted her in. She will fight tooth and nail to represent you in making sure that the projects are funded and that you are represented not just with her city council, not just with her office, but with the county, the state, and the federal government. And she has done just that. So again, it is with my pleasure to recognize our next speaker, Mayor Kay Summers of Clendenin.
Before you start talking, I'm getting out of your way.
Don't leave.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm going right here before I kill myself.
I know, I've been worried about that.
Now it's 12.
Well, Governor,
Yes, let's go strong. We need that strong.
I have one thing to say to you before I start. A lot of people said to me today, they found out the governor of West Virginia was going to be with us. What the next question was going to be?
Where's baby going?
Where's baby doll? And I said to our policemen here, one their picture taken, and I said the governor could make it, but baby doll couldn't. Baby doll's in big demand.
Trust me, I know.
Well, thank you very much for coming. It is an honor. We appreciate it. Thank you, Commissioner Wheeler, for all those kind words. And I know Commissioner Carper would like to say a few more things about me than that. But I want to thank, personally, you don't know what it does to me personally to see everybody here today. If I cried, I would be crying. I would be so emotional I couldn't say a word, because each one of you means something. Yes, Steve, you too. I looked back and saw you. And I said, there's Steve, and I appreciate it. Thank you. So we have a lot of dignitaries. I appreciate all of you coming. All of you had a part. The guys on the back row, you should be standing on the front row. Because every day I go by, I would see you guys working in rain, sleet, hail, sunshiny, 90-degree weather, and all that, and thank you. You know, we have the New River Gorge Bridge. Commissioner Wheeler, you said this was not going to be a national thing. This is our New River Gorge Bridge. So when you drive by, this is the largest bridge, right, that you all have built. And so when Jenny said that to me, so this is our bridge, so when you drive by, be proud. Monica, like he said, he stole a lot of things I wanted to say. But now you can bring our ambulance across. You can bring, Kevin can bring our fire trucks across. Our kids can walk across from the bus stop. We have 2 families of children here. So this is not, as Commissioner Carper reminded me, this is not in the Clendenin city limits. I'd like for it to be. I'm going to talk to him about that later. But it's our community. And so when this happened, this helped us. This is just like it is in downtown Clendenin. But, you know, I want to say something. I want to read something. If you're someone people count on, particularly in difficult moments, that's a sign that a life lived honorably. You know who I thought of when I saw that? Jenny Getaway. And I also thought of Chuck Grishaver. Because let me tell you something, even though, Commissioner Carper, this is not in the town of Clendenin, I got lots and lots and lots of calls about this bridge. My standard answer was, let me give you 2 phone numbers, Jenny's and Chuck's, because they had the answers. They worked day, they worked night. There was meetings at the town hall. It wasn't very nice. It went on for hours and hours, and people weren't happy. But these guys made it happen, and I want to thank you all very, very much. And I can't thank you enough. I know I think I talk a lot, and I do, but I'm not going to today. But since we're here thanking people, Governor, I don't know if you heard about this or not, but last week we had trout dumped in the Elk River. The commission 1,250 pounds of trout. And we had all these people that came in. So when people come to Clendenin, they bring money. They buy gas, which is a lot, by the way. They buy Cokes at the grocery store. They buy water. We had a man that brought his grandson from Barber County to fish in our Elk River in Clendenin. Thanks to Commissioner Carper, Commissioner Wheeler, Commissioner Slango, and Cassie there, we had all these people who came up, and it was a fun day. It was a beautiful day. So, Commission, I'd like to take this opportunity, even though it's about our bridge, to thank you again for the trout, and thank you all for the bridge, and thank each and every one of you. Secretary, thank all of you. Governor, thank you. Thank you. We'll let Steve Netto be in charge of this today.
He's always looking for a project.
At this time, we'd like to ask a representative from Senator Capito's office to come and read a proclamation or greeting. He's got a greeting for you.
Governor Justice, it's an honor to be here with you today. I have greetings from United States Senator Shelley Moore Capito. Thank you to West Virginia VOAD and Clendenin Mayor Kay Summers for the invitation to attend the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Big Blue Bridge. Although I'm unable to be with you in person, I want you to know how happy I am that this bridge has been completed and the community has taken yet another step in its recovery. We have come a long way since the historic 2016 floods. As your United States Senator, I have joined with our entire congressional delegation to make sure communities that were ravaged by floodwaters nearly 6 years ago are built back stronger. We are fortunate to have West Virginia VOAD and their partners who have worked tirelessly for years to replace this bridge and restore a sense of normalcy to the 14 families on Big Sandy Avenue. The Big Blue Bridge is no small undertaking. At 310 feet long and capable of holding 16 tons, it consists of 5 piers and 2 abutments, and is West Virginia VOAD's largest bridge project in the organization's history. Today's event, of course, would not be possible without the leadership of Jenny Ganaway and her team at West Virginia VOAD, which worked with RISE WV to secure funding, and in collaboration with Mennonite Disaster Services and a group of Ohio-based Amish volunteers to construct the bridge. I would also like to thank Governor Jim Justice for his work overseeing the state's recovery efforts during the past years. And finally, I want to recognize the Kanawha County Commission, Chuck Grishaber, and last but not least, of course, Mayor Kay Summers, who knows that Clendenin is a community bigger than its city limits. Congratulations to everyone involved, and especially the families of Big Sandy Avenue. You make me proud to serve the great state of West Virginia in the United States Senate. Sincerely, Shelley Moore Capito. Congratulations to you all.
And at this time, I think someone from Senator Joe Manchin's office has a greeting.
Well, good afternoon. Folks, I am incredibly honored to be here today on behalf of your United States Senator Joe Manchin III. To mark today's occasion, he sent me down with the following greeting, and I'd like to read it on his behalf, and it says, "On behalf of the citizens of the Mountain State, and as your United States Senator, it is my distinct honor to join you in celebrating the grand opening of the Big Blue Bridge outside beautiful Clendenin, West Virginia. Today, we celebrate West Virginia VOAD's latest and largest bridge project that will provide support for 14 families in the region. No family should have to worry about first responders being unable to make it to their homes because of an unstable structure. The reconstruction of this bridge has been a safe, cost-effective, and first and foremost, sustainable addition to this community and will remain for many years to come. Together, this community persevered through the flooding of 2016. Time and time again, we have seen West Virginians rise to the occasion to help each other in times of need. No amount of kindness has gone unappreciated, and the strength of our citizens has been an inspiration to the entire nation. I am deeply grateful to the organizations and individuals who have aided in the recovery process, and I am proud
to join countless families in West Virginia in thanking them for their service. This project has been in the works for several years and would not have been possible were it not for the outstanding collaborative efforts of the people here today. From the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate the efforts of the Kanawha County Commission, Clendenin Mayor Kay Summers, Governor Jim Justice, Jenny Ganaway, and the entire West Virginia VOAD team, Rise West Virginia, the State Resiliency Office, State Coordinator Chuck Grissaber, the West Virginia National Flood Insurance Program, Mennonite Disaster Services, as well as the numerous volunteers, supporters, contractors, and engineers who had a hand in making this long-awaited project possible. Keep up the terrific work, because you are making our state an even better place to live, work, and raise a family, one project at a time. May God bless you. May God bless Kanawha County, and may God continue to bless the great state of West Virginia. With warmest regards, your United States Senator Joe Manchin III. Thank you.
You know, I appreciate all the recognition today for our state VOAD. I'm very proud of our state VOAD, but I want to make something really clear. We have I look at it as a pie. We're one piece of that pie that made this thing come together. Yeah, we coordinated it. Our team built it. Our volunteers came in and helped finish it. The director of the development office, Mike Graney, could you stand?
Yay, Mike.
Mike, thank you for your leadership there in the development office. The CAD team was great to work with through this project. We hit roadblocks, we worked through them. We didn't like some of the things that happened, but we worked through things, and that's what makes you a good team, is to be able to overcome. Michelle Tharp Penalosa, could you stand? Michelle, we really appreciate you and what you've done there at the CAD office in helping make projects like this using those federal dollars come to pass. Thank you. We couldn't have done it without you and your guidance and a lot of stuff that we had to work with you on. So we really appreciate all that you all done. You know, we had the ideal, we had the guys to build the bridge, we had the volunteers to help complete the bridge, we had the engineer, but we lacked one thing, and that was the funding. And because of the governor's office, the CAD office, Department of Commerce, Secretary Gaunch, it all came together. Department of Highways was involved, Corps of Engineers was involved. Last but not least, the families were involved. Because had we not had a couple of families agree to sell us the lot we're standing on today, this would have never came to pass. So you guys had a lot to do with this bridge also. So it was a community effort. It was all of us. And I always say you got a wagon wheel that runs real smooth unless there's one piece gone. And then it's all bumpy and it don't work as well. But we all came together because we knew we had a lot of families that needed a bridge, and we got it took care of. So thank you guys. I couldn't go on without recognizing some of my team. They worked many, many hours. Ben Cisco, who leads our, if you could come up, he helps run our bridge program. He's worked a lot of hours on this. A lot of you call Ben and he comes to me after you talk to him. Sarah Hamrick, who supervises, if you could come with him. She oversees all the case management. Christina Jones, she worked with the families to help get your eligibility completed. And then last but not least, my bridge crew. If you guys could come up and stand beside Ben. I know everybody here knows what a cold January we had. It was frozen. And one day at the office, Ben mentioned they were putting boards on it. And I said, how are they putting boards on the bridge? They had a flamethrower, and they was warming those boards and melting the ice in order to be able to put the boards on the bridge. That's how dedicated this team was. They could have said, it's too cold, the boards are frozen solid, we're going back home today. But they didn't. They had a vision of getting this bridge completed, plus I was pushing them real hard. And with that, you guys done a great job. I appreciate everything you done. You worked from 100-degree weather to 0, and you got it done. We sent Jimmy Riston an email one day to ask him, we know what this has cost, because we like to keep costs down. And, what would this have cost if the Department of Highways had built the bridge? And I think he came back with $4.6 million of what it would have probably cost. Didn't quite cost that much for us. I think it was less than $1 million. So, but we do appreciate what you've done. And next, I'd like for the representatives of Mennonite Disaster Service, if you guys could stand. A lot of work couldn't have been done by volunteers in the beginning, but the last few weeks of the bridge, we had an Amish team from Ohio come in, and those young men, they knew how to swing boards, didn't they, guys? They were hard to keep up with. And we really appreciate what Mennonite Disaster Service has done for the bridge program and for helping us get this bridge completed. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And last but not least, the homeowners, if you could stand. We appreciate the support you gave us, the patience you gave us, helping us with a lot of little things that we had to get lined out before we could even start. So thank you. And I think a couple of you may have something you'd like to say. You're welcome.
Well, I guess they saved the best for last. This is our big baby. That's our baby blue here. They say it takes a village to raise a baby. It took West Virginia to build our baby. We're thankful. We are thankful. There's so many people that we're thankful to. I would like to thank all of y'all for coming out. I would like to recognize our workers. I know they're going to miss the fudge and the cookies. They're a little spoiled now, but they do work very hard. I'd like to thank you, Governor Justice, for coming out, and I have a young lady that wants to meet you before you leave. You're going to make history today. She's really cute right there. She's so excited. And I'd like to thank the Mennonite Disaster Group. Thank Jenny, thank Capito's, and Manchin's office. All the many phone calls that a couple of us ladies did, on and on and on. I'm sure. I know that Chuck got tired of us. Where did he go? We stayed right after him because we wasn't going to let it go. We knew we had to have a bridge. But I'd like to thank God above most of all, because it was the prayers that brought us our bridge. And I never want to go a day without giving God the glory and the praise in my life and for what he does. And, we were at wit's end, and we were even looking for a program to try to buy us out because we didn't think that we were going to be able to survive over here. And this bridge down here, I live out of sight up there, and I could hear when cars came across this bridge. And that's how bad it was. And no, it wasn't fit for our children to walk across or for cars to come across. So we would say a prayer and just do it. And when the water was up, you just say a bigger prayer and you just go. Because you got to get in and out. And Johan gave a little bit of the history of that bridge. That bridge started in the 30s. It was a single wide swinging walk bridge. And from there, it went to wide enough for a car, but it was still a swinging bridge. And in 1968, some of the 798 welders got together and structured that bridge up and made it what it was that stood for that long. And it was a good, safe bridge for many, many years. But when you have water that goes over top of the bridge, you know, it's hard for it to withstand. And I guess we're going to have to declare this Big Blue Bridge Day, and we're not going to jump off of it. We'll just musky fish because there's a lot of musky in this stream. But that's really all I had to say. Tim, did you have anything you want to say? He's trying.
First thing, I like to thank the good Lord for all the good things He's done and all the good people that's here and have to get it done. And a lot of you people, I ain't no good at things, but I know the faces. And I appreciate everything you've done. Appreciate the governor and all you good people. Our community really thanks you. And we're really proud to have a big blue bridge here to keep us safe. Like you say, if you get sick now, you don't have to worry about an ambulance not coming to get you. Or if you need law enforcement or the fire department, they all can get here now. And I thank the good Lord above for all things. I really appreciate it.
When we started having our meetings, they asked us, they said, what do you want to call the bridge? They wanted a name to put on the project. And I wasn't going to say anything about this, but there was an elderly man that lived right here. His name was Jack Barnhouse. And he hand painted Big Blue. And we decided amongst us that in honor of him, we wanted the bridge named Big Blue because he will always be remembered. You know, he's went on, but we wanted him remembered because of Big Blue. He was the one that watched after that bridge and took care of it, and I just wanted to honor him today. Thank you all so much.
Hey, I'd also like to recognize Bob Martin, who is with the State Resiliency Office. Governor Bob has really worked close with us, helped us a lot with some things that we needed. So, Bob, thank you for all that you've done to help us also. We appreciate it. And I'm like everybody else, I miss Baby Dog. My daughter lives in Virginia, and I told her this morning, I said, the governor's coming to our ceremony, and the first thing out of her mouth was, is Baby Dog coming? So we miss Baby Dog, but give Baby Dog a hug for us and tell him. So at this time, we're going to ask the families, the governor, and others to come over, and we're going to get ready and officially cut the ribbon and open Big Blue. Oh, isn't that nice?
Congratulations.